One, two. 1, 2. 1, 2.
Mic test 1, 2. Mic test 1, 2 from mobile phone.
Good to go.
Good to go?
Yes, sir.
No, you'll be right in the field.
Mic test 1, 2. Mic test 1, 2. Mic test from Zoom.
Yep. Works. Perfect. Works.
Still trying to wake up.
How are you?
After yesterday, yeah.
Oh. Well, I mean, it's obviously, yeah, I don't think they're gonna go back. It's- She maybe just needs like a bird. And she likes it. Her variety is about like. They hate it. They love her. Yeah.
I thought I printed out a copy of the cover sheet for it.
They get changed. Changed their mind and wanted it together.
Morning, ladies.
No,
At all.
I didn't have a reputation for that. Why is it?
See.
Away. Good morning. If we could go ahead and get started, this is the Quapaw Nation Business Committee Saturday, March 19th meeting for 2022. And at this time, if I could get Jeremy, you mind saying the invocation?
Oh, Wakanda Creator, I come to you here this morning time. Dear Lord, just thankful for this day. Thankful for the many blessings that you bestowed here on me and my family, my tribe here. Just thankful that you can come with us and walk with us on this day. I just ask that you be with our sick, our people in mourning, our families that are missing those loved ones, dear Lord. We're just thankful for that promise, dear Lord, that we're all going to come together again like that again someday, dear Lord. Just once again, ask that you might bless us, be with those who are hurting today. Those brother over here in a car wreck last night. Just ask that you might look down on him, heal his body, let him be okay, and everything be all right for him and his family, dear Lord. It's troublesome times, worried, and just ask that you can look down on him like that. Just be with him, and just thankful for all that you do for us, dear Lord. I ask that you look down on us and give us a good way to do business today for our people, and just help us carry on in a good way. I'm just thankful for you in Jesus Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Thank you, J.O. At this time, roll call and declaration of quorum. Mr. Secretary Treasurer.
Jeremy? Michelle?
Present.
Lloyd? Zach?
Here.
Guy present. Callie? Joseph?
I am here.
We have a quorum.
Okay, we have a quorum. Next up, reading, correction, and approval of minutes and phone polls. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Move to approve.
I have a motion by Mr. Barker. A second. Second by Mr. Turley. Within the discussion, would one of the members kindly reiterate the phone polls for the month?
Our first poll is to approve a signature resolution authorizing cross-deputization between Quapaw Nation marshals and other local law enforcement agencies. It's passed. Next would be an application to the BIA's Tribal Transportation Bridge Program for the replacement of Route 188 Bridge, Sections 20 and 40 within our TIP. This passed unanimously. There's one to appoint Guy Barker to the Grand Gateway Economic Development Association Board of Directors for the 2020 term. Quapaw Nation's seat on the board was vacant and needed to be filled. Passed as well. We have a purchase of a custom-built mobile group livestock scale for using with our cattle herd development grant. This was passed unanimously also. A poll to purchase a license for an enterprise software program through our IT department. This poll passed as well. And finally, a motion to purchase a truck for the environmental department with the fourth funding cycle of the Volkswagen Trust Settlement Fund. Passed unanimously also.
Mr. Chairman, I might make a comment.
Mr. Buffalo.
I would note that all these phone polls are from January and February, and then during the month preceding this meeting, we've had more than 20 phone polls, and I wonder why some of those don't reflect.
Well, part of the reason would be because we switched to the digital process with Laserfish, which you've had your own run-ins with, so that could be a reason. I guess that would be for either IT, or do you want to clarify?
You know, two of these from January, they should have been in previous meetings even before Laserfish. That's just my comment. I would be voting to approve the ones that are here.
Okay.
I think the only comment that I had to add is that the polls I see from January post-dated our January BC meeting, but I agree that probably should have been within our February date. I think that a couple of these on the polling date probably did outlast that meeting, but I think a large number of them, since they weren't a Section 5 expenditure, and most of it was either compendium changes. I think that might be why they didn't get it included, but we'll take a look at it.
And I'd call for the question.
Any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor for approval signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed? All right, motion carries, and the minutes and phone polls are approved. And we'll we'll definitely do a better job of maintaining those moving forward. And I agree, there has been a challenge with converting to the digital process with Laserfish, but I think we're working the kinks out on that and feel good about the direction of that. Approval, disapproval of directors and subcommittees reports submitted. Those are in our packets this month. Have a motion by Mr. Buffalo, second by Ms. Newton. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? Motion carries, and Treasurer's report is approved. Actually, I skipped that. My apologies. Let's go back. Approval, disapproval of Treasurer's report. Also in our monthly packets. Have a motion by Mr. Curley. Second by Ms. Newton. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries and Treasurer's report is approved. Now dropping down to approval, disapproval of directors and subcommittee reports submitted. I'll entertain that motion.
Move to approve.
Have a motion by Mr. Secretary Treasurer. Have a second? Second by Ms. Newton. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries and directors and subcommittee reports are approved. Dropping down to the accounting report, our CFO, Mr. Eric Boone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
February general fund revenue was 1.7 million, bringing our total for the fiscal year to 8.2 million. Actual expenses for February, 1.7 million, bringing our total for the year to 9.2 million. Our tribal member health benefits for February were 281,000, bringing our total for the fiscal year to 1.6 million. Social services benefits for February were 313,000, bringing our total for the year to 1.07 million. And our education benefits for February were 206,000, bringing our total for the fiscal year to 562,000. The only other thing I have to add is our fiscal year 2021 financial audit for the Quapaw Nation government is completed. I have the reports in my office, and we'll distribute them to you guys this week. Unqualified opinion, clean report, as we've done for years, so nothing out of the ordinary there. Does anybody have any questions?
Eric, would you please share with our people about the Pristine Clean company that we have started?
So we have started Quapaw Nation Cleaning Corps is the actual company name. Our team name is the Pristine Team, and basically it is a Jana King franchise where we are the franchisee of Jana King. We've created this Pristine Team to take over the EVS duties at our downstream location. So they're out there cleaning the machines, the floor, and keeping things clean for our patrons throughout the week. This is a business enterprise under the Quapaw Nation government, and it's basically to help streamline the recruiting process for employees. That's all handled by a management company. It takes that pressure off of our HR department at downstream to focus on the gaming side, the recruiting on the gaming side, and it also, will help bring revenue into the government side as well through the business itself. They're building the team still. I think when we started it, there were 19 people in the EVS department at downstream. The proposed goal for employees is 71 for that EVS staff to be fully staffed. We're currently at 50. We started this at the beginning of November. So KOC's been doing, which is the management company, they've been doing a good job of recruiting. And hopefully it just continues to build. It will allow us to, in the future, if we choose to branch out and clean other locations. We're not stuck with just downstream. We can build other teams. We can clean stadiums. We can do whatever we want with it. We are working with the downstream team right now, perfecting that process before we obviously would venture out in other avenues. So, does anybody have any questions about that? Is that good?
I guess just additional points, we purchase rights to the Jana King franchise for the northeastern sector of Oklahoma. I'd love to say that this was an original idea, but we stole it from the Chickasaws. And as we discussed last month with, month before last with Weena's question, the initial phase of our financing limits direct distributions back to the tribe from gaming properties. Current limitation would be $10 million until we get under a 2 turns leverage profile, which we should be able to do at the close of this fiscal quarter. However, this provides us the opportunity to do a couple of things. One, to carve out a section of margin that would be able to not be included within that limitation, but would be able to come back to tribal books. So we would be able to see, hopefully, ideally, was what we're looking at, just within our own properties, be able to see an additional 1.6 to 2.2 million dollars be able to hit the general fund for the tribe, which is pretty substantial. It would really kind of represent another 20+% return for us, at least on our gaming properties. And as Eric said, it's more the expansion is what we're looking for to plans in the future. And looking towards the Chickasaw model, they did this. They provide janitorial services for TCU, OU, Thunder, Devon, Continental. I think the American Airlines Arena in Dallas as well. They turned it into a very lucrative industry. And so we're looking at branching out as well, trying to get things, relationships and contracts established with local colleges, stadiums. The contract for the BOK Center in Tulsa is coming up here soon. and we would have priority because we own the franchise for that location. So we could be able to put into this. So it's been very good so far. But I mean, from a cost saving standpoint, it's helped us immensely. This is a national franchise, so they help negotiate bulk rates for cleaning chemicals, paper supplies. They also have individual recruiting and training for staff, and so we've gotten very good feedback so far. We're always very proud of how cleanly or how clean our properties were, but we've seen an improvement as well. We've been receiving a lot of compliments. So.
And also to piggyback on Mr. Secretary's comments about just the associated cost savings with this, there's a lot of scuttlebutt in the ethos these days, almost like elections are right around the corner or something. But this is a win-win-win scenario. It's a win for the employees because it's automatic cash to them directly. It's a win for DCR because it is less overhead, and it's a win for the tribe because it provides an extra stream of revenue that would not otherwise be realized. And hopefully the tribes around here see the usefulness of our company and want to contract with us in the future as well. So.
Anything else? Yes, separate payroll. Yep.
Yeah, it would be a separate payroll, and the reason that it's structured that way is so we had some difficulties with our cafeteria plan through downstream, and we had limitations, mostly a federal employment law issue. So now the tribe would wind up being our own vendor, but it provides us the ability to present to employees, particularly in EVS staff, the option to do either cash in lieu of benefits or benefits. We don't always have employees that need our full benefits, and it winds up becoming sort of golden handcuffs. And for example, if they have a spouse that has health insurance through their work, and they qualify on that as well, perhaps they would like to waive the health insurance at their work here in lieu of additional money per hour. And so we give them that option so that they can be a little bit more flexible and have more control over their wages and benefits.
So these individuals they do not have benefits.
It's an option. It's an opt-in, opt-out.
Okay. Are they maintaining gaming licenses?
They do, yes.
Any other questions? That's more than I've had the last 6 months. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Boone, for that report. Good report. Dropping down to new business, we have a few items on the agenda that we have some clarification. We're going to need some clarification on, and I'm hoping our general counsel is on the Zoom to answer some of these, and we'll get to them in a second. But for now, let's go ahead and get into it. 031922A, which is a resolution enacting the Quapaw Nation Adult Protective Services Code. Michael, do you see Austin on? You do?
Oh, yes, Chairman, I'm here.
Hi, Austin. How are you today?
I'm good, sir. How are y'all doing?
Doing good. Good to hear from you. If you could you kind of give a summary over the Adult Protective Services Code that we have in front of us for legislation today?
Yes, sir. So this is part of a package of codes that the General Counsel, in conjunction with the prosecutor and public defender, are hoping the BC will pass. This Adult Protective Services is related to, ensuring that the prosecutor in conjunction with marshals or those acting under Quapaw Nation jurisdiction police authorities, such as those who are cross-deputized, have the authority to take certain actions to protect elders of the nation. When we were reviewing the codes, especially in the context of the recent passage of the Violence Against Women's Reauthorization Act, we looked at ways that the nation needs to comply with the sort of new jurisdiction it's being granted. And one of the areas we noticed was lacking is that the prosecutor and marshals do not have as much authority to protect elders, including, regardless, even elders that are being, perhaps receiving nation funding or at some housing that's either hosted by the nation or, funded by the nation, however it may be. The marshals and prosecutor really lacked some authority to be able to actually protect those individuals from perhaps abuse from family members or people at the facility or what have you. So this code gives them more authority to protect elders.
Sounds like all good things. All good things that we need. Does any of the BC have any questions, further questions for Mr. Vance?
I'd like to move to approve.
I have a motion to approve by Secretary Treasurer. Do I have a second? I have a second by Ms. Newton. Any discussion? Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion.
Yeah, I'm gonna oppose.
Okay. We have one opposed from Vice Chair and another opposed from Mr. Buffalo. And let's go ahead and do a roll call vote.
Mr. Chair, may I speak why?
Sure.
I just want to make a note is I have not had a chance to review the document as I've only received it last night late. So that is why I, at this point, with all of these resolutions, I do not feel comfortable. I would like to hear about all of them today for sure, but as far as passing them, I do not feel comfortable because I have not had the opportunity to read them. So thank you.
Chairman, my explanation also is that I received an email from Ann at 1:41. These documents enclosed. However, I was at the clinic with my wife at a doctor's. Picked up my packet at 4 o'clock, and I don't conceivably see how I can read and absorb in these 3 documents over 120 pages without being remiss in my responsibilities to the nation and its citizens. I need to read them. I think everybody I don't know how many on this board have read them, but I certainly have. And I started, but there was no way I could do it with all 48 emails resting in my phone also. It just wasn't possible. That's why I'm voting no.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Anybody else?
I did read them. It was late, but I read them.
I was on babysitting duty yesterday with an 11-month-old, and I was reading my stuff. So let's do a roll call vote.
Aye.
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 Nay.
No.
4 yeses and 3 no. Motion passes, motion carries, resolution enacting the Adult Protective Services Code is approved. Dropping down, would somebody else like to take the next one?
Resolution 031922-B, which is a resolution enacting the Quapaw Nation Traffic Enforcement Code.
Chairman, I move to table resolution 031922B based on my previous comments.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Any discussion?
I did have questions on that one, but by the time I got through it, I didn't have time to mark up some of the stuff I had questions on. So I would like to discuss that
Yeah, as part of the discussion, I would also invite Austin to weigh in on this as well.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The traffic code, also part of this relook at vol reauthorization. Basically, to put it simply, and this might sound like this is not a joke. What we discovered in looking at the criminal code that currently exists that covers traffic violations is that if you have a traffic violation currently in the Quapaw Nation, you're subject to a $50,000 fine and 3 years imprisonment. Which I don't know if any of you have gotten a speeding ticket in Oklahoma, the state of Oklahoma, but generally you get like $100 fine and you go back to business. So we found that the penalties were excessively punitive, such that they were more. You had a higher punishment for a traffic violation in the Quapaw Nation than if you committed a crime against a person. In many instances. So this traffic code is the first step to revising that by setting traffic violations, civil violations, regulatory violations as a separate punishment from criminal prosecution or criminal punishment. So all this code does is takes the traffic violation portion, makes it more civil regulatory, less punitive, and so that the nation can regulate traffic instead of excessively punishing traffic. It's also going to be coupled by the criminal code, which our office is finishing currently with the prosecutor and public defender. So this is a necessary change to ensure that the nation doesn't over-prosecute and punish tribal members for simple, petty traffic incidents.
Austin, having gone through this, it looks like a lot of this is mostly just model penal code.
Yes, sir, that's correct. And I will say, most of any code we put forward is either going to be model penal code. We may look at, and then coupled with that, we will look at what the state of Oklahoma does, the United States does, and what nearby tribes do. And we'll kind of accumulate that and create the Quapaw Nation code for what fits the nation's interests. But generally, these are just, yes, like you noticed, Secretary Treasurer, the code is just standard language. It's just adopted for the nation.
Any other questions for Austin? Okay, hearing none. I'll just reiterate, we have a motion and a second to table this resolution, and that's what we're going to call for the vote now. Mr. Secretary Treasurer, could we do a roll call vote? And this is to, again, to table this resolution.
Jeremy? Lloyd? Allie?
Yes.
Joseph?
No.
Guy? No. Zach? Michelle?
Yes.
Okay. Motion passes, and we are tabling the resolution for the traffic enforcement code. We did not clarify the length and duration of your table, Mr. Buffalo. You want to take it by phone poll, or you want to bring it up in next month's business committee
Robert's
meeting?
rule that it come up next business committee meeting.
Okay.
Give us all time to read it. The reason I tabled is because previously I stated that I had not had opportunity. I found over the last few decades, what you hear in words are not always what you see in print. I'm a visual person.
The visual I have is our people receiving heightened sentences now for traffic tickets until we do something about it for another month. So, dropping down, our third resolution. Somebody like to take that?
Resolution enacting the Quapaw Nation's Criminal Procedure Code, 031922C. Business Committee of the Quapaw Nation. The proposed Quapaw Nation Criminal Code is hereby enacted as follows. criminal procedure codes. Preliminary provisions, proceedings before trial, post-trial motions, sentencing and judgment, deferral, suspension and probation, parole, appeal, and other provisions.
Mr. Chairman, I move to table this resolution as well.
We have a motion to table by Vice Chair. Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a second by Ms. Newton. As part of the discussion, Austin, can you explain, kind of give a summary of what this does, what this is?
Yes, Chairman. This the Criminal Procedure Code is an update to the procedures of the Quapaw Nation. This for anyone unfamiliar, criminal law and really any legal proceeding is divided between the substantive law, which is the actual thing you may be charged for, using, for example, say someone gets charged with murder. This doesn't have anything to do with the substantive law, such as if you be charged with murder, manslaughter, how those things are defined, what your punishment is. That's not included in this code. This code relates to just the procedure of how the court functions to get somebody from the charge they pick up on the night of an incident or whenever the charge occurs through trial and jury verdict, judgment, sentencing. So it's purely procedural. The primary addition that we have added to this code is what's it called, a preliminary hearing. So this gives anyone who's charged an opportunity prior to pre-trial, so potentially years in advance, to demonstrate to the court that they've been unfairly prosecuted. It's left to the judge's discretion to evaluate the presented evidence and determine whether or not there is probable cause to continue with the charges as filed. So the primary goal of the revision to the procedure code is a sort of what we call a safety valve for justice, so to speak, that somebody who's been wrongfully charged doesn't have to wait incarcerated for years, potentially to get the case either dismissed or have to go through a full trial. Currently, the Quapaw Nation Criminal Code does not provide for these types of hearings, which means that if you are charged, you pretty much are stuck facing that charge unless you're acquitted by jury or something else happens. But this is just to make the whole process more efficient and ensure that the Quapaw Nation doesn't join, the state of Oklahoma has a very poor reputation regarding charging folks and leaving them incarcerated longer than they need to be. And this ensures that the Quapaw Nation won't follow that model. So it's for the protection of mainly tribal members who are charged, but anyone else who falls under that Powwow special jurisdiction as well.
Okay, any other questions or discussion? Hearing none, I'll move for a roll call vote. And again, this is a motion to table approving the Criminal Procedure Code.
Jeremy? Lloyd?
Yes.
Callie?
Yes.
Joseph?
No.
Guy? No. Zach? Michelle?
Yes.
Right. The ayes have it. Motion is approved to table. Dropping down, Guy, you mind taking that?
Resolution 031922-D is a resolution to revise the Quapaw Nation Environmental Code and to to appoint the QAPC Commissioner Tim Kent.
I move to table this resolution.
All right, we have a motion to table. Do I have a second? We have a second. Any discussion?
Yes.
Okay.
One reason I want to discuss this is this was just kind of mentioned in passing, but we currently have Tim Kent on contract to help us, and we are currently working on reorganization of our environmental department. I have not had the opportunity to read our Environmental Protection Commission code as well. I've got questions as far as what these commissioners entail, and I would like to see these resolutions split into two. So that is why I would like to table this resolution for now. Thank you.
Okay. Any other discussion? Any other discussion? I'd like to say something in researching this and putting this together for this month. I found that our first Environmental Protection Commission was created in 1994. There was a reiteration of it in 2002. Then there was another reiteration of it in 2006. And I encourage all of our business committee members to read those documents. Roll call vote.
Jeremy? Lloyd?
Yes.
Allie?
Yes.
Joseph?
Yes.
Guy? Yes. Zach? Michelle?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. That resolution is tabled for next business committee meeting. Dropping down to donation requests. The first one of the agenda is the 2 Quapaw Nation FFA student sponsorships to Latimer County Junior Livestock Sale. I see a Nate Harkins.
Nate Max.
Tribe's donation will be added to this fundraiser for ag education and funds to purchase and care for their show animals. And I think my confusion lies is that the requests are kind of combined. There's 2 different individuals, looks like brothers, perhaps.
And she did put them 2 separate donation requests.
Yeah.
See that?
So the way that they're stated on the agenda, we can take them up on that same item, or we can split them however you want to do it.
Since it's the same request, I guess it would be 2 different siblings here. I guess I'd prefer that we do it together.
Each, just for clarity, each request is for $350. So, Mr. Secretary Treasurer made the motion to approve. Do I have a second?
I will second.
Second by Vice Chair. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries, and the Harkins are approved for their sponsorships. Good luck with their show animals. Dropping down, NEO Native American Student Association. The request is for $500, and this is a fundraiser for an Indian taco sale for American Indian students to travel to OKC on April 1st for Native American Day and the Thunder Game, and the funds will go to supply items for the taco sale.
Move to approve.
A motion to approve by Secretary Treasurer and a second by Mr. Turley. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries, and the NEO Native American Student Association is approved for $500. Dropping down is the Mo Legacy Basketball. I like that name. Mo Legacy is a faith-based traveling basketball program that helps players excel on and off the court. It's an AAU tournament format style all over the U.S. from April to August. So it's basically like helps with travel, any traveling ball club expenses that you would typically incur. And this is for Malachi Wesley. And they are requesting how much? $1,000.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to make a motion to approve the remaining 500 of purchase for the registration cost.
Okay. Okay. We have a motion to approve the final 500 for the registration cost.
Second.
I have a second by Michelle. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries and the student sponsorship is approved. Good luck on the hardwood this summer. It's going to be a hot one. Next one, College Heights Christian School, making a request not for money, but for 360 quarter-pound burgers for their spring fling on April 29th. This is middle school, high school, plus teachers, plus volunteers. In previous years, we've donated all the burgers. Last year, we donated $300. What do we want to do here?
Do we know how many tribal members that actually attend there? Is it the same?
I move to table the donation request until we have at least enrollment information.
We have a motion to table the request by Secretary Treasurer until we can clarify the request.
Second.
We have a second by Ms. Newton. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries, and that request to College Heights is tabled until further clarification. We have another donation request, and in order to take this up, I'll entertain a motion to amend the agenda to include this. I have a motion to amend the agenda to include this specific request by Mr. Turley. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Mr. Secretary Treasurer. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries, and the agenda is amended to include the donation request from the Quapaw Little League Baseball. And the detail I have on this is any amount is appreciated. There's a concession stand menu item, I guess, that we could do. They're requesting $1,200. There's a outfield metal fence that our logo can go on for $4,000. And if we want to be on the scoreboard, it's a $3,500 expense. Are they here? Guys, please.
How we doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Good morning.
Good morning.
We're just trying to get some repairs for the field. The scoreboard doesn't work at all no more. The fence started repairing it wood. It's pointless. It doesn't last very long. Costs a lot of money. So we're just looking to repair it with metal fencing. And then the concession stand heating unit is literally just to try to keep it from freezing in there. Cooled in concession stand. All the amenities would be a whole lot better there. But we would appreciate anything for the Quapaw Youth Baseball League. Total, closer to 20 actual Quapaw members, 10, 11. Yeah, there's quite a few I didn't get. Emailed their copies of their cards, but I do have some. But it was about, I would say, if you got everybody's, you're probably 15 to 20. And we got 70 total kids, 70 total kids.
How many kids did you say? I'm sorry?
70 on the league.
70 on the league.
And probably about 15. If we got everybody's cards, we'd have about 15 kids that were on the league. Tribal kids. Quapaw tribal kids.
On the fencing, it's a 8-foot chain link or
No, I'm thinking more of a 6-foot metal fence, kind of like what a few of the other surrounding schools have put up. It's metal, but if it's tall enough, it's safer, better than what we got right now for sure, and it will last a long time.
it's like an ag panel.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Does anybody else have any other questions? Are you Tim?
Yes.
Tim, appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Hearing no other questions. Entertain a motion.
I know we don't normally go over 500 on these requests, but maybe I'm biased. I'm a baseball lover, but having a faulty fence is a big deal. But having one that can last for years, decades would be nice, you know. And we're going to continue to have Quapaw kids here playing, not just this year and many years in the future. So I'd like to move to donate the $4,000 for the fence.
Okay, we have a motion by Secretary Treasurer to donate $4,000 to Quapaw Little League Baseball, and then a second by Mr. Turley. Let's go into discussion.
I have a question. Have you guys done any other fundraisers to try to help towards this or other donations?
Yeah, we're doing parent shirts. We also have a few people bounce around trying to collect questions from other people. As of right now, he's just now taking over also. This is the first year, so it's been a while.
In the past, we haven't had this much help. He's new. He's trying to take over, and we're going to try to reboot everybody. You know, as a baseball lover, also. We're doing signed donations to try to get some donations going there. Just starting from the ground up, trying to rebuild it as where we can enjoy football kids or any encouraging everybody to come, not go somewhere to like Baxter or something like that. Just keep it hometown.
I will say, being a part of Little League for years, it's tough, especially to start over. And I'm thankful to hear that we have a lot of Quapaws playing.
Any other questions? Okay. To reiterate, the motion on the floor is from Secretary Treasurer and a second by Mr. Turley to approve $4,000 for the Quapaw Little League Baseball. Let's do a roll call vote.
Jeremy?
Yes.
Lloyd?
Yes.
Callie?
Yes.
Joseph?
Yes.
Guy, yes. Zach?
Yes.
Michelle?
Yes.
Okay, motion carries and the donation request is approved.
Have a good season.
Good luck this season. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Dropping down into open forum. At this time, the folks that have passed on, walked on, journeyed on for the month since last BC meeting are as follows. Carol Jean Smiley, Linda Louise Johnson, Kathy Gilmore King, and Florence Flossie Matthews. And in addition to those, I want to say our hearts are with the families of the Joplin police officers, Corporal Benjamin Cooper and Officer Jake Reed. And if there's any other names to include on this list, I'll take those. Hearing none, if you'd bear with me in a moment of silence for these individuals and their families. Gay. Okay, move to open forum.
Mr. Chairman, if I may.
Yes, Vice Chair.
I'm not really sure how the best way to approach this is, but currently, the chairman is using a company-issued downstream vehicle. It can be viewed as expense or compensation, however it's viewed can be figured out, but it has not been discussed amongst the business committee. We have not had the opportunity to receive a report from the compensation committee yet, so we are all working off of the set figure, no additional benefits at all. No insurance, nothing. This to me is seen as a personal compensation, and I would like to discuss it at this time, being that it is the end of the year and it is tax time. That's what I would like to bring up. Thank you.
Okay. Go. You're on.
Well, that's my question to you, I guess, sir, is it's an unauthorized use of a vehicle, so can you explain yourself, please?
So in my capacity as chairman of the tribal government, and as chairman of the Downstream Development Authority, and as the chairman of the Saracen Development Authority, and as the chairman of the Quapaw Casino Authority, in my daily functions, part of my responsibilities in the meetings that I have, and just to be able to carry out daily functions of this position, that is what I utilize that company vehicle for. I have kept all of my receipts. The accounts payable has all of my receipts, has all of my expenses tied to that. And if you'd like to see those, you're more than welcome to. I am an open book.
And that is one of the reasons, sir, why I brought it up, is because I did reach out to the CFO and ask him, and his response was that you see it as no personal use or no personal compensation whatsoever. I am not a tax expert, but I do disagree. And like I said, it has not been discussed. And I do believe that the business committee needs to take a vote on it right now, whether you should continue to use it and whether you should use it for compensation or strictly business use.
Everything that I've done while utilizing that vehicle has been company business use, never personal use. And if you'd like to take it to a vote, then you're going to need to make the motion.
I think I'd just like to add that I think it's been brought to our attention several times, and we have brought it to your attention, Mr. Chairman, and it's just, there's not really been a whole lot of discussion on that. And so it is perceived by several as a compensation. So I think that's something that we definitely, instead of being put on the spot, that we need to have discussed that further. So.
Okay. Well, all of these perceptions that view it as compensation, I'll gladly take a subject matter expert opinion, whether it's from our tax ITG specialist or our general counsel, however you want to play it.
This is an internal matter. It should be discussed internally whether you should be authorized to use the vehicle or not, and if that should be extended to all of us. My car right now is getting wear and tear, and I do the exact same business as you do. However, I'm not traveling back and forth from Tulsa every single day. That is the difference. So right now, I'm not really sure how to word this motion, but it does need to be brought to the table. So my motion will be to not allow you to use a company vehicle until it has been approved by the board. Is that how I would word it?
I'd rather bring it before general counsel personally, just because I don't think it's a board decision as well. If it's viewed as a compensation. And I don't know.
I
really
can
don't.
agree with that, but just as long as it's out here in the public and on the table, this is how the situation unfolded, and I am okay with allowing it to be left up to the compensation committee that should be presenting to us hopefully soon. So I will leave it at that. Thank you.
So there are no motions? Is that what?
Correct. I will pull that motion off.
Okay. Thank you, Vice Chair.
I do not. I do not get 401k, insurance. I pay taxes. I pay the extra 15% in employee taxes. I don't get a match on retirement. It is straight across the board. Everything else is my responsibility to take care of.
I do track my mileage, but it's for tax purposes, not private purposes. I don't submit for reimbursement or anything. I just track my mileage for tax reasons.
Same as well. We are allowed to, I mean, it's either or. You can track your mileage for tax purposes, not for reimbursement.
For context for the people online, Barbara Collier asked if they got mileage compensation.
Chairman, I would think besides the compensation, there certainly needs, after this discussion, clarification from, call it a tax expert, how that should be treated.
Okay.
Is there an authorization process to check out cars and drive them every day, or for employees, staff, business committee?
There is a process, like, I mean, I can say, I guess I drove the vehicle that we have, a downstream one of them. Like if we've driven to Saracen, you know, we've driven it to Saracen, we do have to check it out and keep track of the mileage.
What kind of vehicle is it?
The one I drove was a Cadillac Escalade. This is the one I've driven.
The one I drive is a 2019 Ford Expedition, and it was originally purchased by my predecessor. When we went and toured the Saracen Casino Resort property, they were just there sitting. There was pretty bad damage done to the motor. A rat got a hold of the insides. Said that's not a good use of our property there. Granted, it was still, at the time, we only had the annex open. And brought it back, turned it into a tribal vehicle, turned it into downstream, did all the paperwork, title conveyance, all that good stuff. And since then, tracking my own mileage, there are no reimbursements. And as a reiteration of what Callie said, we don't have 401. We don't have bonuses, so just want to reiterate that.
Well, as a tribal member, I just think that there should be policy applicable to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
You draw just your salary. And so for traveling for tribal business, you get no compensation for the mileage, the gas, none of that, which is totally unheard of.
Right.
You know, in any business you want to look at, I got mileage, but we normally check out a company card to take anywhere we had to go on company business.
To Joe K's point and to yours, we do have a policy. We have a number of vehicles, I guess fleet vehicles, that are specifically used for travel to and from work-related activity. Now, I can say, at least for the chairman, as being the dignitary or face of the tribe, that nearly any meeting that he takes off of tribal land or any property or anywhere he goes is by its very function a work-related activity.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm just disagreeing. I don't understand why you guys don't get mileage. compensation if you have to take your own vehicle. We would furnish the company car if it was available. If not, then we would receive mileage for taking our own, or we ended up getting a rental car. It's a totally different business, I understand.
So we
don't
haven't
have a pocket or anything like that.
we haven't touched, adjusted, manipulated, amended anything on internal policies or compensation policies that were enacted in 2007 before downstream property was actually built. And since then, nothing has ever been presented or approved. And since the creation of the Compensation Committee in October of 2020, this body doesn't have the authority to adjust, approve, increase, decrease, anything.
Okay.
Therefore, we have.
My comment was just that, hey, I think you guys should be compensated if you're going on company business. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Larry.
I would say that as we're classified as independent contractors, each of us, mileage is not applicable to us. Can't use a company vehicle of their own. We're classified as 1099 individual contractors. We have no benefits other than what we pay. So,
There's disagreement there on the board as well. You know, we have got IRS tax people saying one thing, we've got legal people saying another thing, and we've got other tax experts saying another thing. You know, honestly, I think what it comes down to is we either are employees or we're not employees. And then inside that, what are we allowed to do? What is the tribe going to pay and what do we have to get reimbursed back for in the federal government? It's a mess and it's confusing and I really dislike it, but... And I agree. Thank you.
Just one more question. I guess my concern would be, usually when you check out cars, though, to go to your perform duties out in the community or wherever, you check out a car, you drive your car to the job site, and then you travel to your duties. My concern would be what would happen if there was a wreck and killed somebody. Where would that leave us if the car's driven back and forth to work and home? What liabilities would that leave us with, the tribe?
Well, I do believe they have anybody who drives the vehicle must be insured, from my knowledge.
And they are.
And that would cover an incident like that. Heaven forbid, I hope it does not ever happen to us, but.
And just to further state on the record, there's like less than 50,000 miles on that vehicle. Not like I'm blowing and burning up the highway and just cruising around a Dairy Queen. Sammy, you got the mic. All right, any other things, items in open forum?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, Vice Chair.
Don't be scared of me now.
Never.
There were just a few things I did want to put out there. The amount of beneficiary forms we have is not good. We are talking, we might have 1/5 of the nation's forms on file. So, you know, please make sure that you have a form. Make sure your family members have a form. Please start getting them notarized and turned in because, you know, in the event that there's not a form, there is no beneficiary who gets any remaining balance. So I'm just trying to stress that it's a very small percentage that turned them in. Again, we need foster homes. If anybody is interested in doing that, the nation has a need there, as well as law enforcement. Our jurisdiction has expanded and they are looking for a few more officers. So if you know anybody, please send them our way. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Any other comments in open forum?
Mr. Chairman? Yes. I would have a few comments of concern that I guess it would regard transparency. Just recently, this committee got wrecked over the coals on Facebook for not knowing something. As soon we knew it, but we didn't. There was a poster put out from res to whatever, I forget what it says, but I would like for the committee been informed of that before a poster went out on Facebook. We had no idea what it was about. I think if you're going to be transparent, you need to be transparent most certainly with the business committee. Not that I oppose it, but we need to know what's going on. I think that the vice chairman needs to know things. Vince, you're not here, but that's not happening, Mr. Chairman. You need to be transparent. Go on and on about some of these issues, but I won't, because I'm bringing it out now. Transparency, that was your promise when you campaigned. It's not happening.
Are you finished, Mr. Buffalo?
Yes, I am. I know that after Facebook issues, suddenly we get information about that festival, is what I'll call it. I'm not opposed to it. I would like to have been informed so I could have answered questions for people that called me. Well, like I say, I know nothing about it.
Okay. Thank you.
Away.
Wait, Weena.
Question for you. This is a different type of question for me, but can you talk at all about the planned events for June the 30th? And the only reason I'm asking is just simply for reservation purposes, getting family members in on flights on time to be able to participate.
Yeah, sure. I'm happy you asked that question too. This is going to be an amazing event. And really it's kind of to kick off our 150th. More than just a Quapaw powwow these days. It's a festival. It's a celebration. And I don't want to steal too much thunder from Mike and what he's got going on July 1st through the 4th. But on June 30th, Quapaw Nation presents From the Res and Beyond. It's what I would call a all-indigenous art festival full of all indigenous cast, all indigenous performers from Northern Cree, and I'll go ahead and mention the other act since the ink is dried. Hallucination, which is a tribe called Red. That's also what they're called. In between those acts are going to be like a world champion hoop dancer. We have another individual who is starred on The Voice and America's Got Talent that's coming in. We have pending Apache fire dancers, Polynesian dance troupe, and the whole. We have spoken word performers coming in. We have live art demonstrations that are going to be done by world-renowned indigenous artists, some even of our Dakiha relations, and it's meant to be a safe space for youth, for indigenous youth to come. We're even thinking about having a free admission for all Quapaw youth, all indigenous youth perhaps, to get them in and to give them this space to just be indigenous and to celebrate what it is to be Indian in 2022. And it's also to in celebration of reaffirmation of our Quapaw Nation reservation. and just what a time to be alive when 150 years ago our people were starving to death. And I'm really looking forward to it. And again, I've apologized to all of my business committee members. I wouldn't call it a lack of transparency. I would say it's maybe a lack of communication, but transparent. I'm giving that. And that's going to be the celebration. There's going to be all indigenous food vendors, all indigenous arts vendors, and it's going to be an amazing celebration. And I hope you guys can make it out and your family can make it in. Every year, we always run up against these concerts that come in, and we drop an insane amount of money to get those in and to have those acts for a decent return on investment. The cost of this overall festival, the production, is going to be 1/5 our normal cost that we typically do for concerts. And then also, every single room is dedicated to us. So we don't have to compete with outside folks coming in. This is our celebration, and we're gonna make it awesome. It's gonna be a really great event.
Great. At the downstream?
At the downstream.
Okay. It sounds like all day?
Yes, at least afternoon.
Okay, great.
For you, Barbara? For you? Like I said, we're questioning right now the youth. I'm thinking they might be able to get in for free. Adults, we're still kicking around the prices of the tickets, but then we can also cut it to where all proceeds will go to Quapaw Nation Education Scholarship Fund or something like that. From where? Transportation from where? Haven't got that far yet, okay? I'm hoping they can just get there with their folks, with their parents or their aunties or whoever's their guardians. It's kind of running the same as like a typical downstream concert would run. So it's downstream heavy on the production side. And then our comms department has also been very instrumental in bringing that to life. Definitely. We can do price discounts and entry discounts for all tribal members. I want everybody there. Yeah, and then the costs aren't going to be like a $50 or $60 ticket. It's going to be very reasonable, like $10, $20, something like that. Thank you.
No, sounds good. Thank you. Another question, different topic. So back on HR 4715, the bear authorization bill. I mean, I know initially that bill was dropped with the House as well as the Natural Resources Committee July 27th last year. Then I know Congress was not in session for about a month before, like on or about Labor Day. Then I know on or about October the 20th, the bill sponsor communicated the need for a language change resolution from the Business Committee. So that was October the 20th. And then January the 15th, that resolution was passed and included the accepted language changes. All good. So that was over a month ago, or right at a month ago. What is the current bill status? I checked it on, uscongress.gov yesterday, and it still sits in its original form, sitting with the Natural Resources Committee. That would be really helpful to understand some of the steps necessary between the time that resolution was passed in the middle of January to now, so we can understand better where we are.
So, the change of language resolution was introduced, and the language itself has been now amended as of Thursday, and the bill was introduced for initial discussion in committee session Thursday as well. It is now on the agenda for the next Congressional Committee Work Week, which is either the second or third week of May. And it would be that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then the third week is what I believe. And then committee would take it up and then be able to have it for full discussion, debate, contemplation, until it were to move out of subcommittee to committee floor and then to House floor, and then on to the Senate.
In the committee, the subcommittee rather, will it be evaluated on its standalone merits, or does it need to be bundled with a bunch of other things? I was just trying to understand if there was complexity with that, not trying to get political, but...
I guess logistically, you know, how these things wind up getting passed is that it will probably wind up as a page in a larger package of bills. I have to imagine it would probably wind up in some sort of omnibus appropriation or authorization bill through House Appropriations. So if they, or not House Appropriations, I apologize, Natural Resources. The committee itself will, generally in these committee work weeks, that will take in a number of these items, and then the ones that they'd like to push to pass and move to the floor wind up going in a stack, and then they'll create one sort of concert bill, and then it'll move to the floor for consideration.
Okay, thank you.
Like I wasn't willing to pay for a ticket to go to a concert. I paid for the tickets. I went to concerts at Downstream all the time. And I was just asking for others that wanted to know if there was going to be a charge.
Thank you, Barbara. That is not the tree that I was barking up. Believe me, I would never do that. Just thought we had a more of a convivial relationship.
I've got Kelly Flanagan on Zoom. I will give you permission to unmute.
Good morning. I have a question about the Powwow grants. We had spoken previously, I don't know, a couple, 3 months ago, about the upgrading of the plumbing and all this stuff, and then the renderings for the new arena. And I was just wondering if there had been any further activity or decisions made on how that improvement is coming along.
No, the renderings that were shown last GC we tabled, we put on the back burner. That way, in order to do a project of that undertaking, the scope was looking like we didn't have the timeline in order for us to be able to complete that type of project well before our 150th in expectation of all of these visitors. So we decided probably not a good idea, and we're still going to be redoing in general maintenance of some of the bathrooms and shower, fresh coat of paint, that kind of stuff. And then there are plans, we all are in agreement of new water and new electric being put there. Just the timing of everything that came, and with the supply chain taking a hit, and then still with the crisis right now in Ukraine, it's just kind of all been handed to us at the same time. So, yeah, those are my comments on that.
So the plumbing and that's not going to be fixed before the Powwow this July?
No, we'll have plumbing and maintenance repairs as well. We're going to be doing more than kind of just general upkeep. We're going to try and do some enhancements to, I guess, not renovate, but at least fix up some of the plumbing within the bathrooms. We're looking at road design right now, which won't be able to be implemented until after this year's Powwow as well. We're running into significant construction and material cost issues, as is the rest of the world. So a lot of these projects themselves are going to be very difficult to pull off in this economic climate for a reasonable expense. But that being said, there are plans, we're moving forward at least with sort of enhanced upkeep for the existing grounds. And cleanup as well. We're going to try and do some additional things, as you know, with the grass and turf and a little more beautification than is usually seen. So we can try to be putting on the best face for this event this summer.
Okay, just wanted to ask if there was any movement. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. Have a good weekend.
You as well.
Both. Northern Cree will be at both the festival and the powwow.
They will be our guest Northern Drum for this powwow. And for those of you who are unaware, oh yeah. Oh, we're very proud of this one, yeah. And thank you very much to Mike for helping get that one in, so. But, well, if it's gonna be the biggest dance this summer, we're gonna bring the biggest drum, so.
Mr. Henry?
Yes, I'd just like to ask the powwow chairman, are you going to have a head gore dancer this year for this powwow? Or are you going to have a head gore dancer? No head gore dancer? Are you going to have gore dancing? Could I ask you what the budget for the powwow is? What was it designated as $100,000? But every year though, so I'd say you could pay somebody 2 hours or whatever. This is supposed to be an honor. I know you don't you don't care for gore dancing, so I assume that's why you would do that. We need a head gore dancer. They're always asking who to talk to. If they want a special dance or anything. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, if you're gonna dance, if you're gonna gore dance, you should know the protocols for it. Kiowas don't have a head gore dancer. It's their dance.
Excuse me?
So Kiowas don't have a head gore dancer. It's their dance. So
we're not Kiowas.
I know. But if you're gonna gore dance, you should know the protocols for the dance. That's true. That's why we don't grand entry on Quapaw name.
I am not the powwow chairman. Any other questions, concerns, announcements? Anybody got any good news?
Just a light concern, Mr. Chairman. I would like to see the amount of phone polls this committee has reduced. There's a lot of ones could be handled within minutes in our monthly meeting. Really simple ones. Now, I understand the last meeting we indicated, or you indicated, there would only be those that were urgent items. And then with 20 plus over the past month, there were maybe 4 urgent items. The rest weren't urgent. It's, as I said here today, I've already received 35 emails just sitting here. I'm sure there may be some phone polls in there, because all the phone polls don't come from members of the business committee. They come from tribal employees and other individuals. I don't understand, but because I think under Robert's Rules of Order, which you're supposed to follow, you got to have a motion, you got a second, and discussion. And on the Laserfish, we can't do that because it's set up. If you get 4 positive votes, the vote's closed. Therefore, denying 3 members.
No, it doesn't.
But it's changed. I know it's been changed, but I don't know what the amount is.
It never did that.
On my concern, just the number of phone polls we get. A lot of them could be handled in these meetings.
Oh, I agree. I think that the committee action should be taken in committee meetings. Now, I think that a number of them are day-to-day business, and I understand that you're having some technological barriers with it, and we're going to work through that. But
I have those resolved. I'm just saying that we're receiving too many phone polls that could be handled within these meetings, within minutes. That's all I have to say. I'd like to see the number of phone polls reduced and be transparent so these people can know what's going on.
Well, that's why we are starting to reiterate these phone polls, and these phone polls were done well in practice long before Secretary Treasurer or I maintained these positions. So we just kind of inherited that, and we've tried to do the best with what we inherited, among other areas. And again, we're working the kinks out, and I think the technological barrier has been resolved. But even whenever we were bringing this technology online to do these phone polls, we all sat in those meetings. We went through those exercises, programming exercises, getting our wants, getting our wishes, and tailoring that software to our specific needs. And so when we roll it out and it's not what you wanted, I don't know what to say to you on that.
That's not what I said, Mr. Chairman. I just asked that the number of phone polls be reduced, items that could be handled in these meetings.
And I think we agree with you.
Anybody. I'm just making a comment.
If I might make a comment. So the number of actionable committee items that could be brought in here, I think, is going to increase. Now, we're mid-flux with a new system. And a lot of these polls that you're talking about are compendium changes, whether it be approval, denial of job descriptions, everything not appropriate for this meeting in this venue. Now, I do take some exception to the repeated statement that this is an attack on transparency, and that is not true, because every one of these polls is being publicly disseminated and then approved here in this meeting. So I disagree that this is an issue of transparency, because it's open. It's open and transparent. It's in the record.
I didn't use the word in the context you're referring to, Mr. Secretary. I just stated I would like for some of these polls to be voted on within these meetings so that people could hear it. And that's transparency. If you want to take the context I used in a different way, I'm not trying to slam anybody.
And I guess I'm not saying that you are. What I'm saying is that we might be conflating two different words between transparent and immediate or in person. So I think that is the definition, or at least the distinction that I would like to make on this, is that these polls are set up with a procedure that has been in place for what I can tell now is decades, and they are being disseminated where historically they never were. So if anything, that would be an issue of transparency, is if they were obscured, or if they were hidden, or if they were never made publicly available. And they are. We've amended that. We've changed it to try and make it more publicly available. So, I mean, when we have these discussions of transparency, that I think that's an important distinction to make.
I have no complaints. I agree with the statements about some things are confidential. Other things like, I'll use this phone poll. I just saw it yesterday. Phone poll to sponsor the cattleman's whatever it is. Didn't even come from a business committee member. It came from an individual. Something could be handled right here for this board, not through a phone poll. It's not an urgent issue. That's all I'm asking, that the polls that we take be reduced by not doing polls on things that are could be handled right here, as we said, at this table. That's my only request.
I agree, and just to the functionality bit of it, there is a button at the bottom of that page for the phone poll that allows you to request to put it on the agenda. So if you think it's unfit for a phone poll and you'd like it to be on the agenda, and I think there are items I've gone down and put them on there for an agenda item. So that is an option. We have the flexibility to do both.
May I, Mr. Chairman? I wasn't going to go here, but since we keep hounding this transparency and how we're all being transparent, we are on the phone polls. I feel like we are doing a much better job, and I thank you for bringing attention to that. I really do. But as far as I just want to make it clear to everybody, and everybody should know this, that this board acts as one authority. One person on this board does not have sole authority to do whatever they want to do. It takes the board and a majority to make it happen. That goes for employees knowing that as well. That goes for our people knowing that. That is something that we all must know, we all must share, and we all must keep our eyes open. Yes, transparency, communication, and authorization. Those are the problems we're facing right now. And we are calling each other out on the back end. And it is coming out here in the front end for everybody to see. But we are doing our best to hold everybody accountable up here, just so you know. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Any other questions, comments?
I have a question from Zoom, somebody anonymous, to ask on their behalf.
No anonymous.
No.
We want a name, roll number, citizen verification.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so anyone, what it says is, does anyone know the process of providing resolutions to members of the business committee? Timeframes, deadlines, who creates and delivers them? Unsure of that process and would like to be educated on that. Thank you.
All I can speak for is myself. Whenever I do resolutions and I'm drafting, I'm working in conjunction with whatever department that might be, whether it's the courts, whether it's the marshals, specifically those two, pretty heavy-handed in those. But I do everything with General Counsel's blessing, passing, looking at that. And then once that happens, I'll usually I do send it to our executive secretary, and that's my process for that. And then it gets put back to us. If it's a phone poll like we've been discussing, or an agenda item, it goes through Ann, our executive secretary. So that's the process that I typically follow. And then if I can and there's enough time, I do circulate a draft. I try to do it at least a week out, but on this particular one for the environmental code, I was tracking down a phantom resolution all week. And so that's why I wasn't able to get to it in time.
I think to their question procedurally on proposals, at least from the outside, that they can be proposed at any time for consideration. However, if it is something that is unagreeable or that whoever, whatever tribal member might be in a position to propose and would seek to gain signatures, we do have a petition process as well that's outlined pretty clearly within our election ordinance.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
I do believe the question was more proposed for the person. And as Mr. Secretary Treasurer down there mentioned, the process, I'm going to read it just so they know. In our election ordinance, section 16, under petitions, it states the members of the Quapaw tribe reserve the power to independently propose ordinances, resolutions, or other enactments affecting the Quapaw tribe. Any proposed initiative measure shall be presented to the business committee, accompanied by a petition signed by at least 100 registered voters of the tribe. Upon receipt of the petition, the business committee shall either adopt the initiative measure by majority vote without alteration, or call an election for the purpose of allowing registered voters to vote on the initiative measure. It will be held within 120 days by the election committee from the date the ballot petition is presented to the business committee. So that is just, in a nutshell, the process of a tribal member bringing a resolution to the business committee.
Okay, thank you. I will let everyone know if they have anything to add on that.
Anyone else?
Yes.
I'm going to take a different approach to this because clearly nobody listens. There's about 40 people on Zoom watching the business committee meeting. There's about 26 here. Well, what, 26, so not many considering there's supposed to be 5,000 tribal members. You want transparency, you want your voice to be heard, but none of you show up. 20-something people here, 20-something people online, and you expect your voice to be heard by these people and expect them to make decisions for every single one of you with your opinion included, and you don't even show up to voice your opinion. I'm embarrassed by it. I'm embarrassed by reading what you guys write online. God knows what I put on there. I have no problem saying it to your face. But I've sat back for a while now, and I've watched and I've listened, and I still continue to show up to meetings. Not for you or anybody else, but because I'm a tribal member. I have children that are tribal members. I have family members that are tribal members that can't show up, that can't speak for themselves. So I'm here every time learning, listening. It's an embarrassment to see the same faces every month. Not an embarrassment that I don't like seeing them. I actually enjoy the people that show up to the BC meetings. You learn a lot from every single one of them. Whether you like them or not, you learn to respect one another and give them the option to listen to you and hear you and learn to respect you in return. But what is ugly is so many people want a handout. That's why I call y'all Johnny-come-lately Indians, because you're always looking for one. You don't show up, you don't speak up, and the only time you do is when you can get some attention and woe is me and start some drama. I'm not mad at the BC because they were given a document, a legal document that gives them the right to make whatever decisions they want to. Behind closed doors, in front of you, it does not matter. They have the authority governed by the non-speaking voices of this so-called nation. But it's good to see today that some of them starting to speak out a little bit more. They're seeing stuff and they're asking questions in front of everyone instead of behind closed doors. But the rest of you, how many adults? What, 3,000 plus adults within the tribe? And there's only 40-something paying attention?
Yeah, I don't see y'all getting benefits, payday. Y'all wouldn't want me because I'd be telling you right now, you don't show up, you don't get nothing. De nada, zero, zilch. 1 day a year, July 4th, 1 day a year, and not, you people can't show up for your people, for you, for yourself. You can't show up. But you want a payday. We're a tribe. Work together, unity, family, trust, kinship, fellowship. And you wonder why there's so much ugliness amongst us. Because people want for themselves instead of for everyone. They want what they can get. Just my opinion. We know how far that goes. Have a great day.
Thank you. Have a good day.
One last item. Chairman, last month you talked about Revitalized language program and it stated that you would be providing updates on a monthly basis. I'd love to hear that monthly update.
I don't think I said a monthly update.
Oh, I had. Oh, you
Is
said
that what
monthly.
I said?
You did.
Okay. Well, so that was Dixie. Dixie Ram made that request. And happy to announce that the business committee unanimously approved contracting with Billy Joe Proctor, who is going to be instrumental in carrying our language program into the future. He's already done an amazing job with some of the work he's been doing with his website in conjunction with his mother, Risa. The research that they've done and been able to put into this is going to be really beneficial for all of us, all tribal citizens. And then moving forward in the months ahead, we have the Dakiha Language Conference that's typically hosted by Downstream Casino Resort. We're going to be heavily involved in that. And right now, we've signed the contract. That was about a week ago, and this week was really crazy, so I didn't have a chance to schedule a meeting with Billy. But next week, hopefully we can get together and go over some of these projects that we have lined out, which include translation services for us. And in anticipation of the 150th, there's a museum exhibit that's going to be happening to kind of commemorate and pay honor to all of our ancestors and what our journey from 150 years ago to today. Billy's going to be pretty instrumental in that too, getting the language component correct. And then there's also talks of a Quapaw language dictionary book, which I've tasked him with trying to publish and get in our people's hands by Christmas of this year. So we have some things in the works, and I will definitely be happy to do a monthly update on that front.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Weena. So the question is, what's the date of the Dakiha Language Conference? I met with the Osage Nation Language Department 2.5 weeks ago, and at that point they said that it had not been set yet. So we'll circle back around to them and see if they don't have that. And once it's communicated to us, our communications department will definitely spread the word and get it out there to everyone. Mr. Henry.
Yes, could you start that language in school? My granddaughter went to Grove, and she took Cherokee classes down there. She went to Tahlequah, and of all them Cherokee people down there, she won in her age group. But it's just take it in school. You start everything at lower grades. Your mom, your dad, whoever, bring it into the school somehow. and let them teach there. You don't start at the top. You start at the bottom for that language to change.
So I appreciate that comment and question. 2 weeks ago, I had a meeting with the Commerce Superintendent and the Quapaw Superintendent. Both were really receptive to ideas about how we can kind of bridge our relationship between Quapaw Nation and those schools now that both of them are within our reservation boundaries. Part of that conversation centered around some type of after-school programming that can be fully funded with ARPA funds. Some of those things include a language component, a cultural component, which I'm working with the education department on to help bring that project to the forefront too. Hopefully we can vote on something by next month. Thank you.
First, I would like to congratulate all of you. I know we have a lot of issues with transparency on the issue today, but I just want to point out that objectively, this transparency for this board and our government as a whole has increased significantly over the years. And the fact that we're arguing about it as much as we are just shows more that we want more. I don't want you guys to take anything personally from everything that's going on today. So I think you're all already doing a good job. People are just wanting more of transparency, wanting more sugar in our tea. I was hoping someone else would bring this up, but I'm a little concerned about the benching of the traffic enforcement, if it's overly penile. I understand you guys want to review it, so I know this is kind of a new thing because we're jurisdiction, so I'm not sure exactly what process we'd have to take for this, but I would recommend maybe some form of formal suspension of prosecution, not enforcement, but prosecution of traffic enforcement until we come to a formal agreement, and then emphasize that we would use the new agreement for the prosecution, not the current existing.
Yeah, good recommendation there. That's going to be totally in the purview of the courts through their own prosecutorial discretion. But I think after viewing, going back and viewing the notes of this meeting, I think there'll be understanding of what you're requesting there or recommending. Yeah, thank you. All right, any other announcements?
Chairman?
Yes.
I just like to say, I think this has been a good meeting, and I just want to say that I do have nothing but great respect for each board member, because we've all jumped aboard in this position at different levels, different times. You know, obviously 2 years, you just kind of get to know somebody. And we have been, from the time I was elected to now, I truly believe that we're doing everything we can to show our people, to share with our people everything that we can, what's going on. And again, we're all going, I don't know if some people realize in our tribe how many different entities and all the things that we actually have between 3 casinos, and I don't even know, I said I was going to count them, many entities, the things that are thrown our way just to try to keep each other updated. And I feel like just from the beginning, when we've all come together, as of last year, we really worked hard to make a schedule for ourselves to discuss and talk about it. And so, and I like the fact, Abigail, I agree, you know, we have a lot more than just 40, 50 people as tribal members. And I do wish that more could make an effort to come. And we always, I believe all of us, I could speak for all of us, we want your input. We want to answer your questions as best we can. And there are some things that we are still at a point we can't answer your questions on some things. And it's not because we don't want to. It's just because, you know, there is a big degree of confidentiality in things until things are completed. But, and I do love and respect everyone that does make an effort to come. And I know a lot of people more would love to come. But I feel it is a great way of getting educated and really keep updated on what we do and what we say. The things that we discussed today, it wasn't to be an argument, I feel like. I feel like it's just because it's a way of showing you guys that we don't all agree on everything, and we do discuss things, and sometimes it's best. We're just wanting to try to show you that the more we can bring in front of you, the better, to know that it's not easy, and I didn't sign up for this to be easy. But I do believe that we all have respect our tribal members, and we're doing the very best we can for each one of you. So.
Michelle? Any other comments, questions from the audience?
I have Billy Bertram on Zoom who would like to speak. I will go ahead and unmute you.
Billy Bertram.
Good
morning.
Good morning. I just have some updates for youth program. Our drum class finished their 8-week session, but they have voted to continue meeting every other Wednesday. A big thank you to Sean Illick and Damian Black Fox for willing to dedicate their time to our youth still and come out and teach them. March 26th will be community game night. We have a new Quapaw Jeopardy board we've designed. We'll have dice. Not sure what I'm cooking yet. I'll figure something out. And then April 6th will be our quarterly community meeting. Those are open to everyone. The focus of this quarterly meeting will be our healing garden that we will be starting and how that will benefit our youth and what they will learn. And then in May, we'll have our movie on the lawn, which will be Smoke Signals. And this summer, we have Indian football camp with Christina and Rachel Sharp. So the kids will learn to make a football. They will learn how to play the game, and we'll just have a great time. And summer camp, Camp Quapaw, is planned for July 18th, that whole week. A big thank you for bringing Mr. Proctor back. I tried to incorporate language into all of our activities, and I cannot do it without him. So he gets all sorts of crazy emails from me of, how do I say this, Billy? I don't know how to say it. So yeah, that's what we've got going on. Everybody please come out and check out what we're doing and how you can help support our youth. Thank you. Have a great day.
Gonna get it, Billy. All good things. Anybody else? Mike, Powwow Chairman? You good? Okay. Well, this has been a very interesting meeting. And I'd kind of like to end on a high note, so I'm going to go through some subcommittee appointments. For Education Committee, I'd like to appoint Molly Drapeau as chair. Create that today. Thank you for your help and what's going to be coming up next for our Education Department. And ready to work hand in hand with you and look forward to what you're going to be doing for our community people. Subcommittee, Cultural Committee, we have a couple of vacancies now, and I am going to appoint Carrie V. Wilson as chair. She's graciously accepted this role, and looking forward to great things from her. And the Cultural Committee is going to be really instrumental in making sure this 150th and ensuring this 150th is a success. We need all hands on deck. So Carrie V. Wilson is chair, and then I want to appoint Carolyn Knott as well to the Cultural Committee. That was brought forward as a request from her, and I want to honor that. And then J.O., you want a closing sound prayer?
Oh, God, Creator, I come to you here again this time, dear Lord, just thankful for this day. Just thankful that you can walk with us here on this path, dear Lord. Ask that you might continue to bless those out there who's homeless, those battling addiction, drugs, alcohol, those with broken families, dear Lord. Just ask that you be with them children, those looking for a way to interact with their parents and their loved ones so they might be able to grow up and be good upstanding people and their tribe and their nation here. Just ask that you might look down on us, dear Lord, and take pity on us, dear Lord. We're pitiful people here. We just ask that you give us that strength and guidance and lead us into this next day. We're just thankful for you. Once again, I thank you for blessing us with many blessings here, Lord. Just thank you. All these things I ask in your name.
Renegade J.O.
Move to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries and we are adjourned. Thank you.